settle for 3. It's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey,
moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him.
Plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Out of the gun, it's Webb. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Webb now from the gun. And a diving grab. I think he got that, yes. Well, they go with a slant that time. 15 yards and a 1st down. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Early down stuff will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
To throw on 2nd down, here's Webb. And now he'll tuck it and run. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the 1st down on a 13-yard run.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
They'll try and sneak it here. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Joe Webb, his 2nd TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Bills will add on to their lead.
Instead of having to play follow the leader there, the leader led.
I like that. And he likes that, doesn't he? 1st and goal, let me do the job.
Because you know when he falls into the end zone after falling behind those big guys who pushed up front, that's a pretty good celebration, isn't it?
Gives him a little street cred in the locker room, too, doesn't it?
Street cred, and then when they go out to dinner afterwards, he's still picking up the check.
The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken.
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
And was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
Now Carr will try and set up the screen. It's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the
Automatic
football.
first down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. Carr to throw again. And that's going to be incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. And that is incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of the story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, he wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Carr, got to have this one. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Bills are going to take over in excellent field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
This is Mostert, and he'll take this one down to the 36. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground with McCoy this time. Gave a glimpse of his power that time. And then brought down at the 30.
Defense.
Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with McCoy. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Now Mostert. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. That one looks like he'll throw here. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Didn't look his way at all in the first half, but I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. It's a 39-yard attempt right hash. And this one is right through. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points, so while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And solid field position here to start as they get it out to the 40-yard line.
There's no downplaying that we all knew that this was a critical possession, and to get a return like that to start things off, that's the spark that they needed. That's the spark they were looking for.
Throwing on 1st down is Carr. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe you can expect more passes like that downfield. Carr. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Micah Hyde, and his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.